Hi everyone, this is Amara. With my station eyes wide shut, I'm just going to jump into this video. Listen, we're supposed to be living in a so-called democracy, but are we really living in a democracy? The word democracy means for the people, by the people. So government is supposed to represent the people. They're supposed to stand for the people, okay? So whatever the people ask for, they're supposed to be representative of the people. But check out the British government, in actual fact, the British government and the UK government. And it's not just these governments, but also in America, they talk about liberal democracy. What kind of democracy are we really living in? Where it seems that what the people are asking for, the politicians aren't actually following. What they're doing is following their own agenda. And it's not even their own agenda, it's the agenda of the elite. Okay, the hidden hand, who you don't really see, the ones who's got the so-called true power, but we know that their true power really lies with the people. But we've got groups of elite people, and they want to try and rule the world. They want to try and govern the world, and through the corporations and through the technocratic institutions, they are trying to push the narrative. And they're pushing the narrative down through the government, and then it's being passed down to us, the people. But now people are starting to stand up against these so-called government leaders and these so-called elite institutions who like to think that they have a right somehow to govern us. Now you've got groups like WEF, which is the World Economic Forum, and you've got the UN, which is a United Nations. And these are unelected bodies. How did these people get into power? I got to ask again, how did these people get into power? Because ordinary people did not elect them. So who elected them to sit over us and to have so much power over us? The World Economic Forum, the UN, yeah, United Nations, and you've also got the World Economic Forum, right? The World Economic Forum and the World Health and the World Health Organization. They all are unelected. How did these people get into those positions of power and manage to control governments? Now, our Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, he's supposed to be there to represent the people. The parties that are in Parliament are supposed to be there to represent the people, the ordinary people, yeah, to represent their common affairs. But check this out. Less than 2 hours, Keir Starmer, and he stood up there and he turned around and he said this. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID card mandatory for the right to work by the end of this parliament. Yeah? It will be made mandatory for the right to work by the end of this parliament. Let me spell this out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. That's his own words. He can't get out of this, right? He's been televised saying all of this, okay? That's his own words. So he's not listening to the people then, is he? He's following his own agenda, yeah? And it's not really his own agenda. As I keep saying, these people, right, are governed by people much higher up than them that sit behind them and they're pulling their strings. The prime ministers, the presidents are puppets to people which are much higher up, and you don't see them. You don't see them. There's some powerful families that run this world, man. Some powerful families that run this world, and You know, they only make up about 1% of the population, but they have the wealth contained. Yeah, within that 1%, the wealth is contained within that 1%. They own the means of production. They have the tools and instruments of power at their hand. But we, the people, make up 99% of the world's population. How can 1% control the 99%? I'd like to tell you that we have no power. No, we are very powerful if we stand together, but they use this thing called divide and rule to separate us off into different groups, to set us off into different classes, to set us off into different religious groups, yeah, to set us off into different political parties and different groups. So that's how they keep their power, by divide and rule. If you don't come together, that's how they control you or control us. I'm going to read on something else here, which is what Keir also said. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on root causes, looking upstream to tackle poverty, conflict, climate change, issues that aren't just intolerable for those of us who care about inequality and injustice wherever it's found in the world, wherever it's found in the world. He's trying to make it that he's caring for humanity, he's caring for the citizens, wanting to protect them. Is he really? Let me tell you this now. The more people go out and they riot, the more people go out and they protest, the more people go out and they march, that is giving those people more and more power, because they just increase surveillance. So they got these digital ID cameras watching us everywhere. Why do you think they want to bring in digital ID cards? Because they want to watch the population, to have more control over them. Can you not see that? Can you not see that? Every single thing that you purchase, everywhere that you go, everywhere that you travel, right? All your friends, they know your friends through the photographs that you're sharing on the internet or over smartphones. They know what you're purchasing in the shops because people are using their phones, the smartphones, yeah, and the cards to pay for goods. And soon, when all this goes to digital, finally digital, you will have no more control of your money. They'll be able to take your money out of your bank account whenever they feel like it. Yeah, if you've done something wrong, they'll be able to take your money out your bank account, or to freeze your money, or only allow you to spend a certain amount. Some banks are already doing this already, even with cash money. You can only take out a certain amount per day. They tell you it's your own money. It's your own money, but it's telling you how much that you can take out. Even now, it's going as far as some banks are asking people, why have you just asked for £1,000? What are you spending it on? Where are you going to spend it? And it's your money. It's not really their concern as to where you spend your money, what you're spending your money on. It's your money you put in the bank there. And only 10% of money is ever in the bank at one time. And that's another reason why they want to control how much money you spend each day, because they can only keep up to a certain amount. Not they can't. They only keep up to about 10% of money in the bank. The rest is invested through these big companies. Yeah? Through these big companies. They're using the money and then they give you back very small interest. Very, very small interest. The money is going to these big corporations and big companies. Yeah? Some of it's going towards things like wars and all that. And then Where they make money from all that? They're giving you pittance back, giving you about 0.5% or half a percent back on your money. And look how much they're making from your money, which is in the bank. And trying to tell you what you can spend your money on, where you can spend your money. That's already happening now, and that's with cash. When it goes digital, you say anything negative against the government on social media, they will take money out of your bank, or they'll stop money. You do something wrong, or what they deem to be wrong, they will take money out of your bank. Just like a guy in China who was jaywalking, he didn't cross the road at a proper point. He was crossing the road, and by the time he got to the other side, they're taking money out of his account, he said. Taking money out of his account just because he didn't cross the road at a proper point. They didn't even ask him, listen, can we have some money from your bank because we believe like that you've done something wrong. They just took the money without his consent. They just took the money without his consent. This is how overarching the state can be. Overreaching into various different aspects of people's lives. Do you want a system like this? Digital ID, where the government will know every single penny that you're spending and where that money is going. Is it their business to know everything about what you're spending your money on or where you're traveling to? And they're trying to bring in these smart cities now. That's going to limit how far that you can travel. You think 2020 was bad? You wait till this smart city stuff start coming in and digital ID. You're going to see some people balling, man. When you can't get out to these smart cities, yeah? It'll be like a digital prison. It'll be like a digital prison. This is something that the WEF want to bring in along with the UN. You need to wake up, people. You need to wake up. We are at war. Spiritual war and physical war. This is more of a this is more of a spiritual war than it is. It's more of a spiritual war than it is a physical war. They're trying to suck the souls out of us. And I'm talking about literally through all this technology. Trust what I'm telling you. They're trying to slowly suck out our souls. Just about every single aspect of our lives is under investigation and under control by the state. Now, I want to read you something by Dr. Martin Luther King. Listen to this. Return hate for hate multiplies hate, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can. Only love can. The elite, they're trying to turn people against each other. This divide and rule thing. And they're creating fear and panic and hatred amongst various different groups of people. That's how they keep people apart. That's how they keep control. Let me read this again. Returning hate for hate multiplies hate, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can. Only love can. Only love can. People such as Keir, Starmer, you had Tony Blair, you got people like George Orwell, and you got this other guy, Aldous Huxley. All right? These guys are associated, or even not associated, if not members, they're associated, yeah, with the Fabian Society. Go look up the Fabian Society and look at their logo. the Fabian Society that was created in 1884 or 1887, around about that sort of time period in London. Go check out their logo. It's 1884. They were founded in London. They have got a wolf and a sheep on their logo. On their logo. I'm not going to go into the Fabian Society. I want you to go check out what they represent and what they are. They call themselves so-called liberal Democrats. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. That's right, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. What they profess to be is not what they are. Yeah? What they profess to be is not what they are. The logo in itself should tell you a story in itself. A song by a group called UB40, a British reggae group. UB40. Love them, man. UB40. Listen, this is what they said in the song, and I agree with this. The song is called End of War, and the lyrics, in part, go, man must put an end to war, or war will end mankind. Ask just who you're fighting for and who's the mastermind. Question what we're doing here. How long can we sustain the guilt that feeds upon our fear? We've only got ourselves to blame. We only got ourselves to blame. It is easy to be bold and brave from 1,000 miles away. It's easy to pontificate and live, fight another day. It's easy when the bullets are an echo of a ricochet. But the quickest way to end a war is to drop your guns and walk away. The easiest way to end all wars is to drop your guns and walk away. I've said this many times, we ourselves have got to be the change that we want to see in the world. We can't leave it up to other people like Keir Starmer and other prime ministers and so-called MPs. Don't put your faith in them. Put your faith in yourself and like-minded people. You have got to be the change that you want to see in the world. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, also, he said, peace is the path. Peace is the path. We can't go looking for peace. It's right there in front of us. Just like in a song by UB40. If you want to end the war, if all soldiers would just drop their arms and walk away, that's it. We have to change ourselves. Or as this war would just keep going on, because the powers that be are the ones pulling the strings, causing the conflict, causing people to fight amongst each other. Can you not see that? And people who want to go out right now and they say they want to go out and riot, or some want to do peaceful demonstration, even peaceful demonstrations now, especially if you support so-called terrorist groups, and it's not really that people supporting terrorist groups. Some people are seeing things on television where kids are being removed. I'm not going to use a certain word because otherwise my video get pulled down. But people are being unalived. Children unalived. Parents unalived. And it's not that they're supporting these people going out and protesting, not that they're supporting terrorist groups. It's that they don't like what they're seeing and what's going on in Palestine. They don't like the war that's going on between Israel and Palestine. It's not that they're supporting a terrorist group. But you go out now under this new act of terrorism, they got a clause in there which says that even peaceful protests now, if you go out and support So said. Terrorist groups. You could get something like 15 years in prison. You could get locked up, fined, and put in prison for up to 15 years for silent protesting. You've not damaged anybody's property. You've not fought against police. You've not burnt anything like cars out or anything like that. You've just gone out and silently protested. You see how overarching, how overreaching the state is getting? This nanny state. Okay? And this government means nothing but governing your mental, because that's what they're doing, they're governing your mental via their propaganda. And now people are starting to wake up, right, to lies and deceit by the government. And there's a lot of things that were told to us as fact, and they're not fact. Libraries mean nothing but where lies are buried. That's right. Libraries mean nothing but where lies are buried, because a lot of truths are starting to come out now. You start having people divide amongst each other. Now, families not talking to each other since 2020. And then there's a whole other heap of things that's going on that's causing society to split. It's causing society to split. Let me read from Matthew's, from the Bible, King James Version of the Bible, 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many will grow cold. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many will grow cold. You can see that already. People falling out with each other over religion. People falling out with each other over jobs. People falling out with each other over the BAP. People falling out with each other over nationality. People falling out with each other over so many different causes now. And let me read you something else. Ecclesiastes, this is in part. Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. There's a time for everything. And that's quite true. There is a time for everything. Look at what's going on right now in the world. Look what's happening now. But the great change is coming. I say it again. The great change is coming. Yeah? The great change is coming. A time for everything under heaven, suggesting periods of withdrawal and allowing events to unfold naturally. A time for everything, blah, 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 under heaven, suggesting periods of withdrawal and allowing events to unfold naturally. We need to come out of this thing of going out and protesting all the time, because that's just giving the powers to people like Starmer to bring in more surveillance laws. Just let the power in itself run themselves out, because they will eventually run out. This time is changing, man. The time is over. The time is over. But they ain't gonna give up without a fight. And just like, what's his name? He's the head of who? Klaus Schwab. He said, don't let a good crisis go to waste. He said, don't let a good crisis go to waste. Let me say this. I'll go into that in more detail in part 2 of this video. But there's another big thing that's coming, and that's the loss of a lot of people's jobs. Don't let a good crisis go to waste. Join me for part 2 of this video. Eldad Amara, over and out. Oh, and if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that like button, please. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Thank you.